Hello and welcome to the Rules of Acquisition Remix. I am your host, Hugh Crawford. You can find me at HughBot_Crawford on Instagram. And today we are going to be revisiting the Rules of Acquisition episode where we cover Whispers. We originally dropped this episode on September 26th, 2016. So that's a little bit of context for you, what you're going to be hearing. Stick around after the episode for a little additional information that you might find interesting. All right, thanks. On with the show.
Sure, smart organizations allow rogue amnesiac elements to wander free. They allow them into their bedrooms, alone with their children. Oh yeah. They don't lock them up for safety and observation. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah. It's time for This was a good idea, a perfectly logical idea.
And hello and welcome to the Rules of Acquisition, a podcast where we go through every single episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the best thing that we talk about every week and we enjoy doing. And yep, it's great. I keep trying to think of new things to say for that. And it's like, well, you know what? it's just me rambling every time. So I don't know what to do with it. But
I think people like the rambling. I like the rambling.
Okay, well, hey, I can ramble.
Yeah.
With me, as always, is James Nolan.
Hello, gentlemen.
And Hugh Crawford.
Hey, guys.
My name is Wade Bowen. And tonight we're talking about an episode of O'Brien's Deep Space Nine called Whispers.
Yes, this is episode 14 of season 2. The IMDb description is as follows. Chief O'Brien's world is upside down when, for no reason whatsoever, he is being ignored by his family and friends and is being closed out of every essential job on the station. This one aired on February 6, 1994.
Right.
What do you guys think of Whispers? Wait a minute.
I liked it.
It's
the M. Night Shyamalan of episodes. I liked it up until the end, and then I got really angry.
Really?
I got confused.
What?
I'm not sure I liked it. There's a lot of close-ups of O'Brien's furrowed brow.
Mm-hmm. I love that, man. Yeah. I was like, oh, they're getting cinematic with this opening shot, just like him, and then we back up to a.
I think I like this episode the least.
It's like them doing a noir thing again. They're trying to pull off. Mm-hmm. They're doing a specific futuristic noir that I'll save for the end to reveal.
Well, I mean, we can power through it just so we can just pick it apart. I think we can. I mean, It's pretty much a one-trick pony.
Yeah,
right?
Because I thought when going through, I was like, wait a minute, isn't there a Rick and Morty episode with this exact same premise?
Oh, I haven't seen the second season. Is there one in the second season?
Well, it's not exactly the same premise, but there's a Rick and Morty with David Cross, I believe, where they show up and they're living in a simulation where all these aliens are trying to get information out of them.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
And they're like, the aliens are like, oh, well, why don't you just show me the recipe for this condensed proto-matter fuel system or whatever the MacGuffin is that Rick knows how to make. Uh-huh. And it's like, it felt like the same thing when they're like, oh, O'Brien, well, why don't you tell us what you know about the Parallax?
Yeah,
But it's not. It was a different Shyamalan twist.
Yes.
At the end.
Remember Shyamalan?
I don't know why I can't ever say his name.
So why do you hate the episode here? Because I think it seems like you hated it as it was unfolding.
Yeah, it seemed to me, like, I'm like, why are we following? We don't even get good answers at the end. The whole question throughout this whole episode is like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Is O'Brien crazy? Or is something really going on? And
it really sets up like a pretty good Parallax View sort of thing, where it's like the Warren Beatty movie Parallax View. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a 70s movie where it's like everything is everything this overarching conspiracy, and it's filmed well like that, like little scenes where O'Brien will walk in and see Cisco talking to his wife, but they kind of lie about what they're talking about, and it does a good job of that, which is what the stuff I like.
You know that it's not all in his head, because they did do a good job of showing like reaction shots. When about 5 minutes into this episode of seeing, I don't know, probably the 10th close-up of O'Brien's face, I began to wonder why is it necessary to follow this character almost solely for the next 45 minutes? We have
wait, you hate O'Brien though. That's right. I forgot.
Let's not. I don't necessarily hate him. I just feel like this is maybe it's their most reliable character and their most reliable actor to do this sort of yeoman's work and carry a whole, because he is charismatic in his own way, right? Like watchable.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I love Grumpy O'Brien's like my favorite.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when
I would hate this episode if this was. I mean, I know I've come to terms with her, but if this was a Kira episode, I would have hated this episode probably the whole time.
Well, see, Dax doesn't even have a single line in this episode.
Nope, she doesn't. Well, she has one. She plays on an audio recording at some point, but yeah, she's not.
Oh,
she
wow.
doesn't.
Yeah. Like when he has a new assistant that's not like a hot Bajoran anymore. It's just like a Starfleet guy named DeCurtis, who's being a kind of a dick, and he's like, oh, well, Cisco told me to go do this. And he's like, you can check with him. And just O'Brien being like, oh, I'll check with him.
Right.
Just like Grumpy O'Brien was the best to me.
No.
Poor Keiko skeeved out, and turns out she's got good reason to be.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Like watching this a second time and realizing that, like, that's my whole issue. Is like the ending makes it's such a dumb mic drop that, like, when you go back and watch it, you're just like, why are they doing this? It makes no fucking sense.
The first time through, I was like, oh, they're doing some Cloak and Dagger spy shit.
Yes.
Right.
She's clearly an imposter, and all I could think was like, if this were the Americans, she'd fuck his brains out.
No, but that conversation in front of the school with Keiko and Cisco, it's just Cisco saying, be cool, be cool, be cool, be cool, be cool. Just one more
What if
day.
he touches me? What if he what?
Yeah, what if he insists? It's like, no, he's got enough of your husband in him. Oh, spoilers, kind of, but you've watched this episode probably already.
Okay, do we just want to open the kimono here?
We need to. We have to. Yeah.
Okay, so
all right, yeah, I think I said everything I wanted to say about like, but just like at the one point where he's like, I'm gonna go fuck my wife.
Yeah.
Yes. And she's like, I'm so tired, and I'm sleeping with the dog. Like it was all these, like,
and
great.
I sent our daughter away because you're creeping me out. Like,
Well, okay, so surprise, the O'Brien that we've been following for 45 minutes is a Cylon.
Yes.
he's a replicant. It's Blade Runner. This is a Blade
This is a
Runner
Blade-
episode. That's what I like
Right,
about
this
it.
is a Blade Runner episode. And like Ronald D. Moore must have been taking some heavy notes
Yeah, right.
through this, right?
Exactly.
He's like, I'm gonna be using some of this shit later on. You better believe that.
So before apparently,
because this is before Ronald D. Moore came on, right?
Yeah. It was.
Oh, okay.
This had No, this is
Apologies.
Michael.
But no, he's taking some definite
This was-
notes. He's like, oh, I like what they did before.
This is all Michael Pillar. It was
Okay.
his story, and they commissioned another writer to write it, who wasn't in the story room. And then they changed. Then Ira Stephen Bear changed stuff later and didn't take a credit for it. So the whole episode, I guess they sent O'Brien off to do some sort of like security parameters for a peace talk between two indigenous people, right?
Right.
The Paradins, I think it's just one planet and then rebels.
Okay.
Because
But that makes
And then
sense. Let's go have the guy who
that's fine.
unclogs the toilets go talk about security measures.
well, he knows systems.
I know. It's just a bit of a stretch.
It's the same thing when they sent him in that last episode with they sent Bashir, and he's like,
Couldn't do that. They couldn't do it with Odo because it wouldn't make any fucking sense.
Oh right, yeah. They can't make a replicant of Odo
Because of the shapeshifter. Yes.
Actually, that's a part of this episode where you knew something was wrong with O'Brien and not the crew, because you can't infect
Odo. They've already established that. So
yeah, you can't get to Odo. So whenever Odo turns on the O'Brien in the episode, that's when you know that the crew that you're watching is probably the legit crew.
not like a dramatis personae type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe it's the Rick and Morty in me, or not in me, but that I remembered that, only came like 30 years later.
I
But
think we all got a little Rick and Morty in us.
right. I figured it wasn't that everybody's an imposter, but that he's living in a simulation or something.
That occurred to me too, but if that was the case, then Keiko would have fucked him.
That's why I was like, this were the Americans, she would have totally fucked him.
Well, see, now I thought we weren't in a simulation, because after we have 3 scenes with O'Brien and his crewmates, and then after every scene they linger on the crewmate that he just talked to after O'Brien leaves, and so it's a little bit of storytelling. Like they linger on Cisco, and then they linger on Bashir.
Yeah, they're given an ominous look.
Right. So, and it's you're made to feel like it could go either way, but at least it wasn't in his head.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why, if it was a simulation, why are you watching?
It was like a Truman Show simulation, though.
Well,
where they...
Okay.
That's true, but I was thinking if it was like a Westworld simulation, then you would just see like the robots power down or something.
Right. Yes. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
he was in the Truman Show, and that's what I thought, but he wasn't. Yeah.
So let's unpack the dumb shit here. Okay. So he gets back, and before he gets back, they get word that he possibly was kidnapped and turned into a replicant. Possibly.
That's exactly right.
So they don't know for certain,
Okay.
which is their saving grace here. That's the lie they hide behind. And so then they let him roam about, have interactions with his wife and his kids.
Small child.
All of this time trying to get him a physical. They do the whole thing with take a physical. He's good and thorough. And so they do that.
He's a good man and thorough.
And thorough. They force him to take a physical. They try to detect Cylon goo, and they don't. And then, but all of this stuff. So it kind of makes sense, except why just put him in a fucking jail cell. Like, tell him.
That tips off the rebels, and then you can't foil their plans as easily.
But you have to make that clear.
But it doesn't put the space station in jeopardy. Like...
That's why they're followed, and then it ruins the episode.
Well, they were like he was supposed to assassinate somebody. We think. Hell if we know.
He could have killed a child. He could have raped Keiko. There's any number of things. He's a replicant. You don't know what he's going to do. He's also a chaos agent. So you have to button that shit down.
Well, they know that they know.
Were they unsure that it might actually be the real O'Brien?
Then
was part of the problem,
but you tell him that. You say, O'Brien, we're super sorry about this, but we don't want to be wrong, and
that might be what sets him off. He might explode or something.
That's
if he's a real O'Brien, then he might have a psychotic break.
Spoiler alert! That's what should have happened in this episode.
Yeah. But you said my defense of it is. They keep counting down to when the Paradins arrive. And I feel like once the Paradins arrived, they would have been like, all right, we got to lock him down, get him away from them, because we don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah,
But nope, now that I say that, he's got all the skills of the security chief.
Exactly.
He could totally rig shit to fuck up once they get there, even if he's in a brig. So, never mind, you're right.
So he MacGyvers his way out, so he's dangerous.
Yeah.
O'Brien is dangerous. The only thing that keeps him there is that he's not a Manchurian candidate. So, he's a good guy. But if you...
Yeah, they made him too well because...
Yeah, because he had the moral systems of... And the whole time it was an interesting ride. And I know that this is the way, I doubt... No, that's not true. I was going to say I doubt that Michael Piller was thinking about the posterity viewing of this, but Star Trek is all viewed on posterity viewing and watching it.
That's their bread and butter. That's how they make that.
Yeah, rewards multiple views.
That's how folks know about the mirror universe. And stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to be thinking about that when you make a Trek.
Yeah. So the fact that it absolutely makes no sense the second time you watch it is, it's really.
It made sense to me, I think. I liked it.
They let a threat metastasize.
Hey, you tell me I'm full of shit. I'm open for
that. Well, they just let a threat metastasize on their ship, mostly uncontrolled.
But they don't. I guess they didn't know it was a threat, though. I mean, it could have been the real O'Brien. What they didn't do a good job of explaining their dilemma.
Okay.
That's the problem, James. I think that's why you're frustrated, is because at the end they found out it was a threat.
Yeah. No, they knew it the whole time. They've known that it was a potential.
They didn't know it the whole time.
They got a tip.
But view it as quarantine.
They found out it was a threat when they found the real O'Brien.
Right.
That's why
don't they view it as like a quarantine? Just the way you would a quarantine. Say, I don't know if you got smallpox, but until we're running tests and until we can get it confirmed one way or the other, you got to stay in the bubble. I don't know why they couldn't have just done that with him.
Well, again, that might set off the bomb.
Yeah.
You got to treat it as normal until and that's why they're so insistent on getting the physical, because they think the physical will give them the information they want.
Right.
And when it doesn't, they're just like, well, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And and then it's a little wobbly. Yeah. Then they should still have a plan, even if they don't know what to do. Agreed. And then there's a few little weird discrepancies, just red herrings that I guess, like when O'Brien and Bashir are talking about, oh, wait a minute, my father died 2 years ago last spring. What are you talking about? And how I was so upset when my dad remarried or whatever. Or, or when my mom remarried. And then they throw in clearly that, like, they're trying to make you think, oh, O'Brien doesn't know that because he's an imposter.
Yeah. At first, it seems like they don't know him, but I mean that's some good writing, I guess. Mm-hmm. Where you go back and rewatch it, and you realize that they're trying to test his knowledge of his own past.
That fits a little bit better, yeah.
Where like they'll go, well, why don't you tell your mom? And it's like, my mom is dead. But that they're starting to see how well the replicant works.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, one of the things that I thought about, this is actually pretty, to make a replicant that could pass a physical in the Star Trek universe is probably not all that hard, because every civilization
you just put them in there.
Yes, where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
every civilization pretty much has a transporter technology where they have a copy of your DNA, a copy of everything.
Yeah.
They could just make another copy a la Riker and his weird
brother
younger copy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, that's China Mieville talks about this concept a lot in the book Kraken. No spoilers, but yeah. Basically everyone in Star Trek has died a million times.
Yeah.
Because they take all your atoms into the pattern buffer, basically vaporize them, and then put new ones in the same order somewhere else. So you've been destroyed and recreated every time you get on the transporter, which makes sense why they are so apprehensive of it, like in Enterprise, which is a show I haven't really watched more than an episode of, but I understand that they're wary about the transporter.
Yeah, it's a problem for like 2 episodes when they talk about like how icky it is to go through it, and then it works fine, no one ever answers it again.
Right.
Like, when you think about...
That's a squandered opportunity with Enterprise. That's a whole other podcast series, the problem with Enterprise.
That's your title right there.
That no one will take up. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like, I get that it's easy to make, but I don't... Like, it seems like, first off, this would be a bigger problem, and second off, like, I don't know, Well,
we're talking about how easy it is to make a replicant in this universe. I'm surprised... My point is that I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, this kind of shenanigans, space shenanigans.
Right. Well, if that guy in season 1, episode 2 or 3 can just make a clone of himself willy-nilly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then he immediately kills it.
Yeah, he actually seems like he looks like he went the hard way around about it, too.
Yeah. Just
because it took forever to grow it in a vat when he could have just transported a copy of himself.
Right. And we don't even know if the ones that you grow in a vat have the memories or not, though.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I assume they don't, and I assume that then... You have to well, no, because the guy was walking around acting like it.
Oh, God, that's so far.
Yeah, well, that's just a messy. We don't need to rehash that.
Yeah.
Also, let's just, this has never occurred to me. This is a big Star Trek problem that I'm sure has been addressed somewhere. How do you have memories from the transporter?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I didn't know if we were going to get into that.
Like, wouldn't you just turn on, like, a fresh computer? Like, there would be no input.
Well.
Like, every time you transport it down to the Earth.
We don't know enough about where memory and stuff, how it works, because the neurons, maybe it puts the neurons or whatever holds memory in exact the same configuration, so that would keep your... I don't think we understand, and they definitely didn't understand enough about the human brain when they invented the transporter to make sense of that.
Yeah.
Right. Gene Roddenberry needed a cheap way to get people from point A to point B, or else it wouldn't even exist.
Right. I mean, we still don't even really know how memory works, except that we have an idea about what parts of the brain it might exist in, but not what the carrier for it is.
And it's still some sort of electrical current code, so that could just be...
Yeah.
I guess that's true. Also, has it ever been... Because it was my expression that they shoot the same atoms. This is so nerdy. Shoot the same atoms into a beam and then basically like disintegrate you, take those atoms and then 3D print you with the atoms, shoot all of the atoms down to the planet and then 3D print the atoms.
Oh, and that's what's in the pattern buffer in the interim?
Yeah, it's the same. So you're technically it's like taking a car apart
okay.
and then shooting all the parts and then putting it back together with the same parts.
Right. And that's how Scotty got stuck in the pattern buffer for 80 years.
Oh, that happened?
Oh my god, I totally forgot. Yes, because he's in a Next Generation episode.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look 1,000 years.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh.
And he rigged. I seem to recall that he knew that he wasn't going to survive something, so he rigged himself to stay in the pattern buffer, and he rigged like a power source to the pattern buffer, so the power would continually run. And so when the Enterprise found him, they found this transporter thing, like the only thing that was on. And then, of course...
Right, I forgot how that was like a season episode 1 opener in one of them, or an ending.
I don't remember.
I think that's like when...
That was Sweeps Week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it was after they could get James Doohan.
Yeah.
Like, it's after they could... So they had been... It was not the first 2 seasons.
No.
It was It was after they were successful, and then James Doohan wanted a piece of that action.
Right. Well, they got DeForest Kelley in the first episode, right?
Yeah, and I think they felt like he was slumming it. I think they all judged him.
I think they were just happy to get him.
Yeah.
He owned Gene a solid, I'm sure, and had to like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if all your separated atoms are sitting in the pattern buffer, you know what happens before that? You fucking die.
yeah, I get that.
Like, they rip all your atoms apart, you're dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're definitely dying. But I didn't know if there is some sort of solace in that you're still made out of the same atoms.
I guess so. I mean, it's our 21st century kind of hang-ups that are our problem with it.
We just need to loosen up.
By the 24th century, they're probably, people die all the time. We just bring them back. But death doesn't mean anything anymore. We got amazing fucking science, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So where are we on this episode?
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys want to get into what you would change?
Well, I also want to point that just plot points that the replicant Cylon O'Brien is just as good as him, so he figures out all these logs, and then he's kind of like, I bet they're really turned on by my sexy letters to my wife, those creeps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. We could have gone without that, right?
Yeah. This is not my Keiko, the one that I write all that porn. Does he write to her, or is it sexy voice messages?
I assume
on some space?
Sexy voice messages.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know how far we need to get into that.
No. One thing I wanted to point out is that in reading about this is Michael Pillar's favorite episode of Deep Space Nine.
Really?
Yes.
I liked it. You know what?
What are you gonna say, Hugh? What are you gonna say about that?
Hey, I'm like, more power to Michael Pillar if this is his, I guess, favorite. It's such a big twist that you either are going to like the twist at the end or it's just going to piss you off.
That's true.
I kind of liked, like, wow, that took some balls to follow a character that wasn't even the character we know this whole episode.
Yeah, that is true. A couple things on that is that they asked Colm Meaney, what did he do to prepare for basically a different role? And he's like, I didn't do anything differently.
Yeah, well, it makes sense.
I just showed up.
Yeah.
Which is totally the right actor thing to do. And that's the thing I was thinking is like, I bet that would have been hard to get through to Alexander Siddig.
No, because it's the same.
He's like, I should be doing new stuff to give hints. They're like, no, just be Bashir.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm an Irish guy. I didn't go to fucking Lambda in London or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to do the same goddamn job. I'm just going to show up and do the same job. And it worked. Yeah. Before we get to what we changed, I got one more thing. Yeah, I did too. Ahead. Well, I was going to say that everyone in the writer's department was really worried that this didn't have a B story.
Oh,
yeah.
And they thought it was like really bold. They thought it was bold and that it would ultimately fail. And I think they felt that way up until it aired. To which I was thinking, like, this is the first time that the show felt like it wasn't like old-timey script television.
Right.
So at least that was probably why I liked it, is it was just laser focused.
Yeah.
Just like the really good episodes should be, like Duet and other stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it that. We didn't have some silly,
self-sealing stem bolt play.
Noggin
right.
Jake.
Yeah, so it was like, and also they couldn't do it. They tried to write a B story because they're trying to follow a formula, but they couldn't because any other B story would be like, oh my god, what the fuck's up with O'Brien? I don't know. Is he gonna blow up the ship?
Right.
That was what every conversation would be outside of the A story, so they couldn't do it.
You could have a really horrible B story about Jake Sisko's grades.
Yeah.
Because I guess he was the only one that he wasn't totally in on it, maybe?
Yeah, they didn't let him in.
Or he's the only one that O'Brien didn't suspect.
Yeah,
I
well,
guess.
they let him in on it, and then, until the end, and then they did, when he was like...
Oh, no, because Commander Sisko called and canceled that. No, Commander Sisko told Jake, "You're not going over to the O'Briens tonight." You're not going.
But he didn't know when he let that out that his
why
where Cisco was like, Jake's grades are shitty, and that's why I was hitting on your wife in the hole. and then Jake was like, no, I got straight A's. It's great. So they didn't work out their lie with Jake.
And then O'Brien's like, what the fuck?
He's fucking my wife. So that was a problem for them, and I just like. I mean, I'm glad that ultimately that's a problem they get over with, that needing a B story.
Yeah. I think my favorite O'Brien moment was at the point where Jake is at the end in the hallway. And like Jake's like, just they're not gonna hurt you. Just surrender, okay?
I like
and then
that.
Runs off.
I thought that was.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was.
Good. But there was a moment with O'Brien where he's like, "Shit, am I gonna have to shoot a kid?"
Yeah.
You look like a good kid, but I will fucking kill you.
Damn it, I don't want to shoot a kid, man.
Right.
They could have found a way to have Jadzia have a scene with him
Easily.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Yeah.
Easily. That was one of the things that really irks me. Why do you even have these characters if you're not committed to use them in some capacity?
Is she in danger of getting fired again?
I don't know.
Man, they must have not liked her a lot.
Dude, well,
I don't know. And I don't know. Behind the scenes, everything that I've read is that they didn't, I don't think they liked her at all. And then she got fired she left for Becker, and then she got fired from Becker. Maybe she was just really difficult.
I could see.
And I haven't read anything to that. I'm just reading between the lines or speculating between the lines. But
yeah, I need to read up on that Becker history. But that's for the Becker podcast.
Yeah.
For our Becker podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Part of the Panoply Network.
Yeah.
The Becker.
Is Becker?
So
they needed to squeeze her.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good.
Because I mean, even Kira had just the one scene, right?
Yeah, she was on the comm.
Yeah, I guess
she was the one scene at the end.
Yeah.
I think as far as a storytelling, I think it was laser focused. It's just not the kind of Trek that I like to see. I felt like, and it's not my favorite character. So I think a lot of what I have problems with this episode is just me and my own personal hangups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We know you hate O'Brien. It's fine.
Well, I don't. It's a sticky wicket. My feelings for O'Brien, I get conflicted.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Oh, and we almost, or do we get another rule of acquisition?
We do, sort of. One of the high ones.
We do. Yeah, it's also one of those kind of red herrings they throw in there, like, oh, this must not be the real Quark, because we all know the real Quark knows every single rule of acquisition. This feels like an imposter, a Quark that only offhandedly knows, but turns out it's just because he's uncomfortable dealing with. It's kind of impressive that it never got back to O'Brien, and even in those logs that he unlocks, that nobody's like, this O'Brien's a piece of shit, or this O'Brien is not right.
Right.
Like, he finds and decrypts all these confidential top secret files, or the locked files, and not one of them has anything to say about it. There must be something. Oh, that's where you bring Dax in, because every now it's a very minute thing, but whenever they talk something that must have been buried very deep in the system of the computer, it's always Dax that delivers the line about it.
Yes, that's true.
So something must have gotten past O'Brien, because for the first time ever, we keep saying that the only times in the past that anything's ever even been talked about getting it past O'Brien was when it was faked in that in that Bashir O'Brien episode where they fake his death.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, no. Oh, it must have been buried deep in the system, Dax says, but it wasn't. They faked it. And if this is the same O'Brien in
like
every
last
way.
Episode.
Yeah. I guess it was last episode.
Yeah.
It's a little weird that he didn't find something about saying, this O'Brien's a replicant.
Yeah, we're totally skeezed out by this, this O'Brien.
Yeah.
By the way, the rule of acquisition has been given by, I don't know, nerds, a tentative number of 194.
Right. Well, that's what Quark says, because he says something like, oh, well, because he throws in that talking to O'Brien. He's like, what do you know about the Paradans? And O'Brien's like, what do you care? It's like, well, it's it's always good to know about your customers before they walk in your door. And he doesn't call it a rule of acquisition. O'Brien says like, oh, what is that? One of your rules or some shit? And Quark is like, is kind of off his game a little bit, and says, I don't know. I think it's one of the high ones, 194 maybe.
Yeah, okay, because I was trying to figure out. I forgot the line of how it was, given.
Yeah, well, because it's an offhanded, not like, once you have their money, never give it back, with a little sing-song. It's just like he's probably paraphrasing it.
Yeah, it's one of the letter book, like the people who haven't read the later Pauline epistles in the New Testament.
Right.
The Book of James. Fuck
This
that, I don't know.
this is like Timothy that may or may not have been written by the original Nagus that wrote the rules.
Exactly. All right, are we ready to change things?
Yeah, I'm always ready for this part.
Okay.
All right.
I guess I'll go first. Does anybody
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to go talk about this one.
I got a little something, but it's not something, big.
Okay, so there's the overarching thing is I would have changed like how they did it because it just seems irresponsible what they did. But if you're going to do Blade Runner,
oh yeah, at the end they shoot him.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, I good thing they're like, go through that door and everything will make sense. And he's like, fuck that. No, seriously, do it. No, fuck that. No, walk through the door. Fuck that. Bam, shoot him. And he's, oh, okay, it's the replicant. And then the real O'Brien walks in and says, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what the end.
Like, yeah.
So what were you going to say?
Like they don't, well, other than changing just how everything worked in the episode, and it making no sense that they would have just let him walk free and spent all of this time sort of keeping him trapped, but he's not trapped. Outside of that, if you're going to do a Blade Runner scene, why did you miss the opportunity of having Odo and O'Brien have the replicant reveal, like the questionnaire sequence?
Oh, yeah.
From Blade Runner? That would have been a really great sequence where instead of, if you're going to waste O'Brien with this conspiracy theory stuff, or not O'Brien, Odo, have Odo and O'Brien do something that mirrors the beginning sequence from Blade Runner, which is my favorite scene, where they're asking him all these random unattached questions to see if the emotional mechanics hold up.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have, like, to had Odo do something that was detective-y, like an interrogation that revealed something, or at least attempt to, would have been an interesting sort of thing and would have made it look weird and creepy. And, if you're using Blade Runner as a template anyway, which they admit that they are, that would have been a really great sequence to put in there and given some really good sort of Odo stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is it the cinematic or the director's cut? Because it's got the voiceover in it, right?
Oh, wait, but don't they both start? I mean, I don't know the difference, but they both start with the sequence where they're asking, where the brutish Blade Runner is talking to the...
Yeah, well, the theatrical cut had a lot more voiceover, and then the director's cut, which is mainly the only one you can find now, is got most of the voiceover taken out. And a lot of people complain about that. The voiceover is actually pretty great. For a noir film, it actually makes sense, but whatever.
It does, but it doesn't end with the unicorn, right?
It might not. I can't remember all the changes, but
no. So like, I would have just had a sequence of interrogation between Odo, where Odo, like Bashir, Odo is trying to sort of ascertain what the makeup is of O'Brien, and had that come across as interesting and weird and suspenseful.
Yeah, well, you could do a lot of, like, especially if Odo's doing that, just his character as a guy who can be anything, trying to figure out if this other person is also something that is not, that is pretending to be something when he could pretend to be anything he wants. If this is a thing, that would be, I don't know exactly, because I'm not writing a script right now, but that seems like it would be good fodder for some great scene work,
Fun to write? Yes. So that would have been interesting to see, and it would have, I don't know, it would have taken it to the next level. But overall, I just wish that it made more sense what they did with O'Brien, the replicant. So that's the one thing that I would have worried about.
Yeah, and I do, and another, I have mostly nice things to say about this episode. At the very end, when the real O'Brien comes in, there's a little bit of that kind of, I'm not going to call it, he's the homie character that's a little bit racist against Cardassians or whatever. He's the closest thing that we have to an Archie Bunker in this whole Star Trek pantheon.
Yes.
There's at one point where he comes in and it's like, that thing was pretending to me, and they're like, yeah, it's like, he was talking to my wife or something. It's like, that robot was going to fuck my wife.
Did you fuck? I got to go ask you, did you fuck my wife? Did you fuck my wife?
He's just like, there's just a look that he comes in, he's like, really? That thing was going to fuck my wife? I don't want no dirty robot fucking my wife.
Keiko screaming, I didn't fuck him, Miles.
You did. Well,
I found your letters.
Yeah, but no, he's not. I mean, he's still enough of an evolved human being. He's not an asshole. He's not going to be, he trusts his wife and he knows. And yeah, but whatever.
That's true.
Just the little kind of like apprehension. That's all Colm Meaney's acting. It's like he's like, wow, that thing was pretending to be me. And most of it, like a Jonathan Frakes or the other Star Trek people would have been like, oh my goodness, that's fascinating. Oh, that's so interesting.
Right.
He comes in, he's like, asshole was pretending that asshole could have fucked my wife.
All right, I like that. Actually, he could have fucked my wife.
That was like the moment at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I think that they're kind of pushing O'Brien into being just a typical Star Trek enlightened superhero, as opposed to the average everyday sort of working day meat,
right?
Corned beef and cabbage kind of guy.
Although you did have a feeling when he came home how much of a shit day he had.
Yeah. He may just want to turn on the television and stick his hands in his pants and we're just stripped down to whitey tighties and just sit on the couch
instead of staying in his uniform after his wife went to bed and do computer research. That was super weird. That you get this picture of how hard his day is and how he relaxes once he's home, and then he stays in his filthy uniform. Got all sorts of O'Brien flop sweat in it all day underneath all those
there's probably some nanotubes that clean you up or something, we'll say, in the future.
Space age polymers.
That's right.
That keep you from...
Not like what the actual actors are wearing, which are the sweatiest, grossest materials in the world.
Oh my God, yeah.
They said that Lycra was the stinkiest stuff by the end of the first season, that they had to
Well, that's why they changed costumes in DS9.
Yeah,
right?
that's why Costanza had the Yankees change their uniforms, and it was like a hotter blend. That's what it was like for the Star Trek actors.
Well, I've heard the Star Trek guys, he said that when we were in these Lycra jumpsuits, and every time we had to take a piss or a shit, we had to get naked, basically.
That's super weird.
Yeah.
Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future. Okay, so what would you change, Hugh?
Well, we all know that this replicant has O'Brien's super knowledge and skills. Whenever he makes that flash bomb to get away, wouldn't it that been cooler if it was like a transporter device that he can throw something on the ground and get himself transport? He's a badass transporter engineer.
He should be an inventor too.
Right. Well, they already threw some tricks where he can't transport, so it might make things weird.
I know. I just think that would have been cool.
Yeah.
The flash bomb was just kind of funny.
The flash bomb is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Ninja vanish. Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah, really.
Ninja.
Smoke bomb. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah. I thought that was kind of. He's like, I've got some tricks up my sleeve, and he's messing with those little. And you're like, oh, that's a bomb. That's not a trick up your sleeve. Well, that's just a bomb, O'Brien.
That's not clever.
I thought he was messing with one of those golf tee trick things at Cracker Barrel table.
That's what he was doing.
Oh yes, the golf tee. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He was skipping over him. Yeah, trying to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. If I can get down to one, I've made a pretty nice flash bomb.
That's what he meant. Old O'Brien's got some tricks up his sleeves. He knows exactly the pattern to put these golf tees in. Yeah.
Now, I was going to say, this is the second episode in a row where you almost get MacGyver O'Brien.
Yeah.
But they still kind of pussy out, I think, because of money both times. Where, was it last week? Oh my God. Where they were trying to escape and he was going to have to put his skills to build radios and shit and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
They ran out of money. They just had to keep everybody in the room, so he didn't get to run around. And in this episode, he MacGyvers things for 3 minutes. But I don't know. If you want to give me O'Brien MacGyver,
right.
Give me O'Brien
no half
MacGyver.
Measures when it comes to that.
Don't cock tease me with O'Brien.
Yeah. I guess that gets into the one little, I have one nerd corner nitpicky thing to change. And it's kind of, I guess it is similar to Hugh's thing and yours a little bit. They should have MacGyvered something a little bit better. When he's hiding from everybody and he gets in the hallway and he goes I'll hide where nobody finds me, in the ducts.
Yeah.
Where they hide every single fucking time they hide on Star Trek. Just hide in the ducts. Oh, get in the Jeffries tube. Oh, get in the ducts. Nobody will ever look for you there unless we wanted to hide ourselves, which we go do every single damn time.
That's true.
Make him do some MacGyver shit with a piece of gum and some foil.
Right.
To where it looks like he went into a duct.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then he went somewhere else. Then he sneaks into like a loading dock, which has a separate transporter that's not locked down like the rest of them. And that's how he gets in the runabout, maybe?
Yeah, there was actually a scene there. I actually know a little behind the scenes stuff. There was a scene there that they built while he was trying to get it and go away and escape that they wrote. And they were all really happy with it, and they all filmed it, and then they sent the original writer a shooting script, like the final script, and he noticed a continuity error in the language that was wrong, and they shot it that way, and they didn't want to go reshoot it, so they just cut the scene.
Just have Bashir redub his audio, like in... That's even.
Yeah, it was something about what was the pursuing runabout versus the escape runabout.
Okay, that sounds like some nerds.
Like the Mekong, the new runabout, the Mekong. Like they got confused on that.
How pissed was that admiral when she has to take a call from a replicant? A non-commissioned replicant calls her up, and she has to deal with it.
So just go the fuck back, okay?
Yeah, I know exactly who you are, you asshole. Yeah.
Do you have to, Cisco? If you could keep your robots from calling me.
Yeah.
That was that was Leonard Nimoy's wife. They called her back to reprise her role from season 1.
Wow, I'd like to see that character at the end of the day go home and talk to her partner about whatever shit day she had, and then one of Cisco's freaking replicants got loose and starts blowing up my phone.
I told him to just put him in a jail cell until we figured it out.
Right.
But no, he wants to let him run about.
He's got to have
a
cloak and dagger shit. Not on my watch. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, anything else you guys want to go over or can think about?
Not about this episode. What's the IMDb?
That covers it.
What's the IMDb rating?
Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready. I don't know. Are we not?
Oh, did you guys already look?
I have not.
No, I didn't look. It's a 9.6. No. Like an 8.
Okay, so out of 10, what do you guys think? Come on.
Oh, wait.
I'm going to 7.7.
I'm going to go with 8.
Wow. It is an 8.3.
Motherfucker!
632 people, which is like over 100 the average.
God, that's almost duet level, isn't it?
Duet was 8.9, I think, right?
Yeah, but it's as close as we've had a duet.
Yeah.
People love this episode.
It's pretty good. I mean, I liked it.
I feel like Joanna Robinson in the Game of Thrones podcast where I just shat on it the whole time.
But guys, if you're going to make a list of your favorite, if you're gonna watch, like, if you got like a Sunday afternoon and you're just in the mood for Deep Space Nine, is this really one of the 4 or 5 episodes you're gonna go back and watch?
Oh God, no.
What about you, Wade? As much as you liked it, I mean,
no, probably not.
Really? Do you think it's?
No. I'm gonna go back to later seasons and then Duet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So
that's about it. Oh, maybe a Necessary Evil. I could watch that one again.
That's my thing is that, like, I think when you get into 8.3, 8.9 territory, that's like reserved for revisiting. I don't really think Whispers achieves that, but I guess some other people do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy that it got that much. I was lowballing because I figured like nobody agrees. Either I think it. Well, yeah, I just didn't think they would agree with me.
Yeah, even I'll concede that it's a higher form of a mess of an episode. Like, because I mean, I was relatively enthralled. I know that you were, but I was relatively enthralled with it until the end, and then I went to like it doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't know. I mean, it was well made. I can't really quibble with it on those terms.
No, yeah, and that's what I said earlier. I do give it kudos for not having a pesky B story that's just kind of gets in the way.
Yeah.
It was laser focused. You gotta give them that.
Yeah, and pretty well written, like, and tight. I mean, it was.
Yeah. The one thing I wrote down too, I felt like the pre-credit sequence didn't. Usually those are pretty standalone. It wasn't this time because the story was so tight and just focused on O'Brien the whole time that it was just like, and then he says something and like, we just jumped to the credits. Like, feels incongruous because they had to fit him in somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. It just cuts to it, and I'm like, oh my God, we haven't seen this yet. We're still just in the break.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. One of the things that I was reading about is that O'Brien is Colm Meaney is apparently like a consummate professional, like shows up on time, says his lines, shoots his scenes real quick, gets it right the first time, that kind of thing. And they were like they finished this episode like 2 days early or something.
Oh, because they were relying on him.
Oh, that's
So like yeah, and so he was just
it's all.
they didn't do a lot of they didn't have to do a lot of takes, they didn't have to do a lot of like blocking that like so they had filmed, they had their normal shooting schedule, but they just blew through it so fast because he's good.
I think you just answered why Dax wasn't in this episode.
There you go. All right.
Well,
and that's the thing is
I was like, oh man, I feel bad because so many of our listeners probably love her.
But that's just it. Is that I'm thinking,
I'm so mean to her.
5 minutes into this, and I'm like, this is another O'Brien. I feel like we've had 5 or 6 O'Brien episodes.
We got another one coming up next week, buddy.
Really? Wow.
Tell me about next week.
We're in the O'Brien. I don't know. For all I can tell, it's Cisco and O'Brien go down to another one of the Mormon colony planets for some reason.
Okay.
For shenanigans.
A barn raising?
All right.
Yeah.
Barn raising.
But I think it's Cisco focused and not O'Brien focused, but it's Cisco and O'Brien.
All right.
I'm on board with that.
All right.
I think maybe they were like, maybe this was like the efficiency period, and they were like, well, let's just pick our most efficient actors, the professionals, and then we'll deal with Alexander Siddig, Perry Farrell, and we'll deal with all them.
Got costume.
We'll deal with them later, but we'll do some cost saving here and just do some sort of simple episodes. So I think.
Oh yeah, they're like mid-season last season. We got stuck with Move Along Home. Let's fuck that shit. We'll just do character-centered stuff on actors we know can get the shit done quick,
fast, and on time. Yeah.
Yeah. No more of that waddy shit.
All right, guys. Well, I think we about put a bow on this one, don't you think?
I believe so.
8.3. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm kind of floored by that. Okay.
All right. Well, on that note, I guess 3 to beam out.
Beep. Beep. Wow.
All right. That was Whispers from 2016. I really didn't remember much about the recording of this episode. It seems like it's another episode where I don't like the Deep Space Nine episode we're talking about, and the other two guys either like it or are fine with it. I don't know why I was such a grump, I guess. I sound really grumpy about Deep Space Nine going back and listening to these episodes. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. That might be why I am the least favorite host of this show out of the three of us. In this episode, we talk about a Rick and Morty episode, and we talk about a Star Trek Next Generation episode, but we can't remember the name or any information about either episode, so I thought I'd give that to you now. The Rick and Morty episode that we are referencing with David Cross is M. Night Shyamalan Aliens. That originally aired on January 13th, 2014, and the Next Generation episode that we reference with Scotty is Relics. It's a really famous episode. It's episode 4 of season 6, and that originally aired on October 12th, 1992. I did some reading and some research about Relics, and it turns out the reason why they had Scotty so late in the series, it's not because it didn't have anything to do with James Doohan and his wanting to see how if Star Trek Next Generation was going to be a hit or not. It had to do with the show Bible from Next Generation explicitly saying that they're not going to reference or do stories about the original characters. So as the years went by and they got their own following and a critical acclaim, they got more comfortable with referencing the past. Sarek showed up and eventually Spock showed up. And so by this time in season 6, they were more comfortable having some of the old characters back, and that's why they did Relics, which is a great episode, and I highly recommend that you go back and watch that episode instead of Whispers. I recently read a Forbes list of the top 10 Star Trek Next Generation episodes, and this made the list. So, unsurprisingly, because people love Scotty and people love nostalgia. So there you go. Interesting enough, whenever I went back and looked up the information about the Rick and Morty episode and this Next Generation episode, I, as is my habit, looked up the IMDb rating for each episode. And it's interesting because Relics, which is considered a top 10 episode by many, I guess, has an IMDb rating of 8.6, 3,000 votes, 8.6 out of 10, which I was like, well, that's really high. The Rick and Morty episode has got an IMDb rating of 8.7 and 12,000 votes. So that's huge. That's a lot more votes. So, Rick and Morty, I would argue, probably has a higher cultural impact right now than Star Trek. So, anyway, or at least a more active fan base on IMDb. I don't know. It's hard to tell these things. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed listening to this podcast, and I hope you join us next time on the Rules of Acquisition Remix. If you like our show, be sure to check our Patreon out, Kickers of Elves. Go into your Google machine and type in Patreon, Kickers of Elves, and then you'll find us. We've recently done, I think we've done a lot of Green Knight talk, so you can become a patron and check that out. In the past, we've also done a mini-series on Dune, and that is on our Patreon as well. So, anyway, yeah. www.patreon.com/Kickers of Elves. I don't know. Just Google it. You can find it. All right. Thanks again for listening. One to be Mount.
Did you know that some Deep Space Nine podcasts have more reviews than us? Doesn't that piss you off? Please love us, love us, love us. Longing. Rusted. 17. Daybreak. Furnace. 9. Benign. Homecoming. 1. Freight car. Did that work? I am sorry, I am trying to enter the activation code into some, well, let's call it software I recently bought. We need to field sometimes. I hope this worked.